Best thing on her. I don't know why you can put me down. Shit, I am the shit.
This ain't no regular thing. I came for the ring, you know what I mean. I shoot my shot and it's clean. This for my city, yeah, this for my team. If you talking, it's how to me nice. I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights. Better get right, champion. The game is in trouble, I've been in my depth for the piece of the puzzle, I got it for real. Still keep me going, I wake up and hustle, you won't see me buckle, I've been in the field. Man of the town, you been in your fields, I'm adjusting this crown. Call me your majesty, either that or your tragedy, we shutting everything down. I've been hot like somebody put a candle on them. Off top, I don't really stand opponents, this mine. The moment is run out and start a bunch of pandemonium. More game, I got some, the skill is bar one, y'all done, the game in the coffin. Referee screen, rest in peace, and think twice if you next to me, it's West. This ain't no regular thing, I came for the ring, you know what I mean. I shoot my shot and it's clean, this for my city, yeah, this for my team. If you talking, it's hard to be nice. I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion. It's our repetition, I'm stacking these trophies, I'm good with addition. I spit like a pastor, I give you the vision. Up early morning, enough for the sleeping. My life is a dream, but you wishing you lived it. Haters get livid, my pocket's Pacific, that's deep if you get it. So Tempur-Pedic, I sleep on the critics. Don't feel like competing, I'm hearing these tickets. Whoa, let me switch the flow, a new bounce. Coming to the den with a lion, I'm gon' pounce. Know I've been a king for a while, got a ring and a crown. That's the bling with the blow, what the team is about. Champions, you can tell by the ambience of this sound. Referee screen, rest in peace, and think twice if you never see me, it's no doubt. This ain't no regular thing, I came for the ring, you know what I mean. If you talking, it's hard to be nice. I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right. This ain't no regular thing, I came for the ring, you know what I mean. I shoot my shot and it's clean, this for my city, yeah, this for my team. If you talking, it's hard to be nice. I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion.
Guys, we back in the basement again for a Wednesday special. I had to do a show. As y'all see the thumbnail, I know y'all seen it, but if you didn't, tell me, give you a friendly reminder. Mike Gundy, Bruce, and Steve Pearl. Those two conversations we gotta have. Now, this the Bruce Pearl news kind of broke probably late on Monday, so they didn't really have a lot of opportunity to really read up on it, prepare for it, and really want to talk about it. So I didn't do it then. But I knew I was going to do a show. I think it came out, late Tuesday? Let me just double check, I think. Came out on the 22nd at 4 something, which was on Monday. So like I said, it came out late, so I didn't really want to go over it or talk about it and give it no attention until I was able to, do some research. Because, guys, it's not fair if I don't bring you the proper research in order to have the conversation about it. So I want to make sure I was well informed. So with that being said, I had to do that. So now that's why I'm having a conversation today. I'm going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Mike Gundy being fired from Oklahoma State. Now, with the Mike Gundy, it's probably the least most important, as far as the whole landscape of sports. But it's still important. And the reason why, because that man had a tenure. Matter of fact, he was the second longest tenured coach other than Ferentz from Iowa. For those who don't know, Kirk Ferentz is a Iowa head coach, and he's been there the longest out of anybody. But Gundy was the second longest. So probably the least amount of impact in the sports world out of these two conversations that we're going to have today, but definitely want to talk about it. But not only that, guys, I'm going to help you guys out because the waiver wire is either happening today for you guys. Some of you guys have went through the waiver wire, are still going through, and it's going to complete by Thursday morning. So I'm trying to help you guys out for those who play fantasy football, such as myself. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Big games coming up this week for the Bears, the greatest team in NFL history. They got to talk about that. Another thing is, it's a lot of 0-3 teams out there, man, and they're struggling. They are struggling. So with that being said, what's the plan? Well, not only just 0-3. Let's talk about 0-3. There's a lot of teams out there who has a team with losing record. And so that's concerning for me if I was a fan of one of these teams, something like Baltimore or the Chiefs. These what we consider playoff teams. These two teams you will see in an AFC Championship game. And Karen, as we speak, they got losing records. Now, that's not normal for them. But that's their reality. Let me try to get my camera to go on and get up on you guys. Sorry about the blurriness of the camera. I don't know why I was like that. Yeah. But with that being said, it's got to be talked about. We have to talk about it because that's what's going on right now. Shout out to my boy Dean, Philadelphia fan. Nothing against you, Dean, brother. You know I got nothing but love for you. But the hell with the Birds. In a couple of weeks, we got to play them suckers. And I plan on shocking the world. Big Ann 11, you know the rules. I don't mind you talking trash, but if you're going to do it, brother, do it in the super chat. You heartless son of a gun. It's sorry, I said. Ain't the Birds 1-3. Don't worry about it. We won it too. But we do got a winnable game coming up. So don't be worried about that. We might be a 500 team by the time the Sunday end when we play the Las Vegas Raiders. Guys, I've had a part put it back on stream from Facebook as well because I was doing it for a while, but I had that third channel was kind of taking it up, and the limits on her 3 unless y'all allow me to upgrade my StreamYard where I can do more than 3. But with the 3 people the 3 areas I want to make sure I definitely stream at is on Facebook as well as on YouTube, both my YouTube channels. But as far as the NFL goes, really no news for a lot of teams. A lot of teams just as going as possible. I mean, like I said, you got a couple teams that's surprisingly not doing as well as they probably should be doing, or you expect them to do. Right now, I was hoping my team will be 3-0. Of course, I didn't predict that. I predicted us to be 2-1 by this time. I mean, we should have been. We should have been beat Minnesota. Unfortunately, yes, I know y'all saying, "Oh, well, you still talking about Minnesota?" Yes, I'm still talking about because I realized we should have beat them. Sorry, suckers. We should be 2-1 right now, but unfortunately, we lost to them. We lost. Yeah, we lost to Minnesota. Damn it! On the first game of the season that we was up, that we allowed to come back on us, which is sad, but it's our reality. It's our reality. But the funny thing about that is we'll be fine. We got a new coach. We understand that. We expect some bumps and bruises along the way. That's to be expected. It is what it is. Speaking of good game this week, I mean, this Tampa Bay and Philadelphia Eagles, 2 teams undefeated, should be a great game. Should be a hell of a matchup. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Right now, I'm taking Philly as an early favorite to win that game. But you never know. Some news can break during the midst of practice and make me change or go in a different direction with my pick. But right now, if I had to put my money on it right now, I'm going to Philly to beat Tampa Bay. But speaking of the guys who played in the AFC Championship game last year, Baltimore Ravens 1-2. Kansas City 1-2. And they play each other. Somebody coming out 1-3 after that game. Now, the fortune for Kansas is the game's at home. Kansas don't have any receivers. All the receivers are either hurt or suspended. Now, what I'm hearing, Xavier Worthy might try to play. Hollywood Brown, former Baltimore Ravens. Maybe it's a payback game for him. He decided he wanted to show up and show out. I don't know. Derrick Henry has some making up to do. He has 3 fumbles in 3 games, and that's not good. Unfortunately, he hurt me in my fantasy football league because I needed him to produce. And he laid an egg on me. I lost by 3 damn points. And one of them points they took off because of fumble by Derrick Henry, sorry ass. Now, Kansas City doesn't have a good run defense. They're vulnerable. Derrick Henry, are you going to show up this week? I don't know. It's not like I can find another replacement for him. Can't bench him. Because I don't have a lot of running backs. Ain't a lot of good running backs out there in the free agency market either. So I'm going to have to depend on the sorry ass. But with that being said, I expect him to produce this time around. We'll see. That's not trash. I state the facts. That's some bullshit, Big Ant, and you know it. But before I get on to the Gundy thing and the Bruce Pearl thing, let's talk about the waiver wire. So for you guys who play fantasy football, such as myself, maybe need a little help this week. You might be looking at your squad, realizing the bye weeks are coming this time next week. I got wide receiver problems. I got quarterback problems. I got tight end problems. Man, I need a stream of defense because my defense is trash. My running backs ain't cutting it. I got to get them together. Speaking of getting together, my man had to come through with a congratulations, my man E. He said, hello, sir. Congratulations on beating my squad. You called it. E, I told you y'all to get right game, and we needed to get right. And it so happens to be your team. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But you know, I still got love for you, my brother. Right on. With that being said, let's get to it. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what your boy Hank can do for you on the waiver wire. See what he can try to help you, assist you, to get you in the right direction. Guys, if y'all have any questions, please drop the questions in the chat. I'll be more than welcome to address them and answer them. I'm not going to go long tonight. Pause, as the young people would say. But I am here for you guys. And like I said, we're going to get to the Pearl and the Gundy thing here shortly. I promise you that. But with that being said, if you need a quarterback, if your quarterback is hurt like Jaden Daniels or J.J. McCarthy, or you got a quarterback that's going to be out for the remainder of the season like Joe Burrows, and you need some type of relief or some type of assistance, I want you to go into your free agency market and see if you can find somebody like maybe a Geno Smith could do something for you. I've seen on some free agency percentages that you could probably find C.J. Stroud or Jordan Love on there. Now, Jordan Love, I don't understand why he's a free agent. He should at least get up to be a second string or backup quarterback. C.J. Stroud, I understand. And after I talk about this, I'm going to definitely have to speak on C.J. Stroud. I talked about it the other day, but man, I'm seeing some more and more stats. This is crazy. But that's a different conversation. But if you're looking for some type of replacement, definitely look into Geno Smith as a possibility. Geno Smith is a possibility as he's a starter for the Raiders. We realize that that they do like to throw that ball around. That's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. when you're always going to be always behind, you're going to have to throw that ball, throw that rock. So as a possibility, you might want to look at Geno Smith, another guy who's going to be starting from here on out for the New York Giants. Now, this depends on how much faith you got in the Giants. And depends on how much faith you have in rookie quarterbacks. But Jackson Hart is another possibility. As a quarterback, you could probably go out there and find and pick up and see what you can do with him. I'm just saying. Hey, I seen Aaron Rodgers out there. Go out there and make a move on him. Make a move on him. Take a chance, roll the dice. You do what you got to do, especially if you got a quarterback who's out for the rest of the remainder of the season like Joe Burrows. You gotta make some type of move. Or you might have to pull off a trade. You may have to pull off a trade, guys. So do what you got to do to help your team win. I know that's what I'm doing. Unfortunately, like I said, I lost the other day, came up short because Derrick Henry let me down. I wish I had Jeremy Nichols because that guy was out there rolling. He had a 60-yard touchdown I really could have used during that game. Unfortunately, I didn't have Jeremy Nichols. I had Derrick Henry. And he for sure let me down. Shame on his old sorry ass. But nonetheless, I'm not going to cry about my fantasy football team because I'm sure you guys really don't give a crap. But speaking of a running back producing, I might have made a Trey Benson. In case you guys didn't know, Connor is out for the season. So you need a running back to fulfill your running back needs in your lineup. Look at Trey Benson. Another one is Miles Sanders, former Philadelphia Eagle, as well as a former Carolina Panther. He's another possibility you might want to check out and maybe put in your lineup. You know, these are a couple names that you could probably look on the waiver wire, see what's happening. Maybe they can help you out a little bit, especially, during the injuries like with James Conner, but somebody just to fill in for the meantime, between time. Maybe get Nichols. He's available. Not only Nichols, but what's the guy, other running back from the Washington Commanders? I can't think of his name. He's got a long name. They call him Bill. Bill something. Bill something. Jesus Christ. I can't think. What is his name? Man, what is that young man's name? I can't think of his name, man. Jesus. I had it pulled up. Oh. Bill Merritt. Bill Korsky Merritt. Young man's got a long name, man. That's crazy work, but that's what it is. May want to look at him. Maybe Rodriguez, a former Kentucky Wildcat running back. Now, he's probably going to get your more short line, your goal line opportunities. But, you might want to look at him as a possible lineup player. I know a lot of people probably at the tight end position is looking at my man Ferguson because he had like about 15 catches in that game against the Bears. He was the only receiver that was catching the balls. So you might want to look at him. I mean, for those guys who still left, Juwan Johnson out on free agent market, I don't know, but you may want to look at him. Not only that, what's that? Finn from the Cleveland Browns is another option at tight end. Now, a guy that I went out there and put a bid in on, and I believe I got him. I don't know. I have to look at my lineup again. I know in one of my lineups I did get him. Tucker from the Las Vegas Raiders. He had like about 130-something yards, man. I mean, it was crazy. He did some crazy work. I mean, that boy balled, man. What was his in this stats? Let me see. Let me check him out. Trey Tucker from the Raiders had 145 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 8 receptions. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to get that for you every week. Nowhere near going to say that. But if he can produce and at least get the opportunity to get 8 passes thrown to him, that's a lot of opportunities. And so hopefully he can do something with them opportunities he's getting. He's 6% on right now. Might want to put a bid in on it. For the guys who are playing in auction league, yeah, I put about $11 to $12 to $15 on them. Let's see what happens. Another guy, I said about it last week. If you didn't go out there and pick him up then, maybe you got an opportunity to pick him up now. It's an elite Manor from the Titans, wide receiver. Maybe look at him. Give him an opportunity, give him a chance. He's 50% on, so some people are starting to pick up on him, take chances with him. Maybe you need to go do the same. Another tight end, a lot of people may be sleeping on because he kind of fell from grace when he got out to New England, but he's still a viable participant. He had 8 catches and 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hunter Henry from the Patriots used to play with the Chargers back in the days, but now he plays with the Patriots. So you might want to look at him as a possible tight end replacement. Look, the 2 positions that's real scary is tight end and running back. Those 2 positions, man, is like hard to find. You're not gonna get nothing good out of it. Then he said, go get Shedeur Sanders. Well, Shedeur, you don't have to worry about. Shedeur won't be starting for no time soon. Maybe once the Cleveland Browns are out of the playoff contention by week 8. You could probably go look at him and pick him up because he might be getting opportunity by then. But right now, no, just let him marinate. If you do pick him up now, just don't worry about playing him. Just leave him on your bench. Just let him marinate a little bit. Let him hold that clipboard, as they say, because I don't see him getting in no time soon. But those are just a few players I would definitely be looking at or taking a serious looking at for sure, with like the Tuckers, the Trey Benson, those guys, and Hunter Henry. Those guys you definitely want to make sure you take a long look at and possibly put in your lineup, especially for the bye weeks. Are you in some type of dire straits? Like I said, your quarterback was Joe Burrows, and you in dire need, and you need the position field because Joe Burrows ain't coming back to no time soon. Matter of fact, the time he can come back, eligible to come back, well, your fantasy season be over with by then. So that ain't gonna mean nothing to you. Look, I'm gonna throw another sleep out there. Hey, Carson Wentz may not give a job back up to J.J. McCarthy. He played pretty decent. He did what they was asking him to do. Didn't do nothing too extreme, but he didn't have, he wasn't no turnover machine, wasn't doing a lot of that. He was just taking care of his business, doing what he needed to do. Maybe that's what you need. Maybe you got other skill positions that are just carrying your team, but you just need a quarterback just to get you a few double-digit points here and there. Well, maybe you'll look at somebody like Carson Wentz, a blast from the past. Another wide receiver you may want to look at is Calvin Austin III. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much keeping up with DK Metcalf because he's getting double teamed most of the time. Might want to look at him. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You never know. With that being said, let's get on to the college football level. Let's fantasy football. I know you guys probably don't want to keep talking about fantasy football because most of you guys don't understand what you're missing. You don't understand how great NFL football, fantasy football is specifically. You guys don't understand the intricacy of playing fantasy football, how exciting and fun it can be, and how much you will learn about other teams other than your weak-ass Cowboys, or your weak Baltimore Ravens, or you sorry Philadelphia Eagles fan, or Cleveland Brown fan, or whatever fan you will fan team of. You'll learn about other teams. So with that being said, we're going to get on the college level. Like I said, we're going to go along today. Not going to be a long, slow, but there was a couple things that I definitely want to make sure I mention and have a conversation about. So another thing I want to definitely talk about is this Mike Gundy thing. Now, for those who don't know Mike Gundy is a fiery country speaking coach who's been in the college game for a long time, right? He's been in the college game for a long time. And so just recently, Coach Gundy got fired. You know, when you've been in a college game for over 21 seasons, it's a long time. That's a long time. So unfortunately, he met his demise. Why? Well, if you don't produce, that's what normally happens. So right now, Oklahoma State owes that man $15 million for firing him before the end of 2025 season. He agreed to restructure contract early this year that included a $1 million pay cut. The 58-year-old year's second longest tenured FBS coaches behind our Kirk Ferentz, hired in 2005. Gundy produced his best season in 2011 when he led his program to the Big 12 title with a 12-1 record. Gundy's firing comes one day after 18th anniversary of his infamous "I'm a man, I'm 40" rant. Now, guys, if you don't know about this rant that this guy went on, man, it was funny as hell. But I understood what he did that. I do. I remember the whole situation. But with that being said, for those who haven't seen it, I heard it, you're going to hear it here. Now, it's about 3 minutes long, right? It's about 3 minutes long. So, you know, I might brush through it, but I'm going to give you pretty much the gist of what it was. So his quarterback, young man, wasn't playing well, wasn't doing good, was having a rough game, right? And you know what happens. This is really before social media really got big. It was really before, you know, you had the Twitters and the IG. You know what I'm saying? Social media was out there, but it wasn't as big as it is in 2025. And so, you know, the most popular way to get your message across is the newspapers. Yes. For you young people who don't know what newspapers are, they still exist. You can still find them in certain places. But us old heads who know what it was to have a newspaper, sit at the table and read it, look at it, put hands on it, check the stats. When March Madness come around, we cutting out the section of the sports where we can print off the bracket. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't have my old ass just reminiscing like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all old as me. Some of y'all older. Like Big Ant 11. Like my buddy E. Sean Dean, you older than me, you old head. But that's what happened. So a mother reading the newspaper and read this article, and it wasn't very favoring for her son. And she brought it to Mike Gundy's attention. Now, Mike Gundy said, I don't read the paper. I don't read that stuff. It's all bullcrap. It's a bunch of malarkey. But he felt the need that he had to speak up for his player. And I can respect that. Right? I can respect a coach standing up for his guy. You know what I'm saying? A coach standing up for his players and let it be known, hey, don't kick a man while he's down. But with that being said, let's get to it. Let's get to it. I want to check out this video so y'all can see what I'm talking about.
If anybody hasn't read this article, I don't read it. This was brought to me by a mother of children. I think this is worth reading. Let me tell you why I'm talking about this article. 3/4 of this is inaccurate. It's fiction. And this article embarrasses me to be involved with athletics tremendously. And that article had to have been written by a person that doesn't have a child.
So, guys, this came out in 2007. This is when this video and this rant and this whole thing happened, 2007. And he's in a press conference. not after the game, but I don't believe it was after the game. I can't remember that. But it's in a press conference, and he's addressing the media about the situation.
Child. And has never had a child that's had their heart broken and come home upset and had to deal with the child when he is upset and kick a person when he's down. Here's all that kid did. He goes to class. He's respectful to the media. He's respectful to the public. And he's a good kid. And he's not a professional athlete. And he doesn't deserve to be kicked when he's down. If you have a child someday, you'll understand how it feels. But you obviously don't have a child. I do. If your child goes down the street and somebody makes fun of him because he dropped a pass in a pickup game, or says he's fat, and he comes home crying to his mom, you'd understand. But you haven't had that. But someday you will. And when your child comes home, you'll understand. If you want to go after an athlete, one of my athletes, you go after one that doesn't do the right things. You don't downgrade him because he does everything right and may not play as well on Saturday. And you let us make that decision. That's why I don't read the newspaper. Because it's garbage. And the editor that let it come out is garbage. Attacking an amateur athlete for doing everything right. And then you want to write articles about.
Here we go, guys. Here you go. Here you go.
Guys that don't do things right and downgrade them, the ones that do make plays. Are you kidding me? Where are we at in society today? Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid. Write something about me or our coaches.
Oh shit. Now, guys, that was a famous man back in the days. Said, come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. Look here, let me say this. Two things. I can respect Mike Gundy for doing that for his player, standing up for him, arguing for him, having a conversation, putting it out there. You shouldn't do this. But in the same breath, he's not a kid anymore. He's not in high school. He's not in middle school or elementary or pickup, a little league or rec league ball. It's not that. Once you become a man and you play in college ball level, I know it's tough. I know it's hard. You're on fair game. Let me share this. I remember going a couple things. My son had a basketball game, and I had to watch it online because it was just too far away, and it was on the work night, right? So I watched it online. As a matter of fact, I even streamed it. Y'all can hear me, or y'all can hear what the guy was saying, and I'm like cussing this guy out. He don't realize it. I'm cussing him out. But then I had to remember, my son is 20 now. He's not 17. He's not 16. I had to remember, I had to accept that. I'm at the games, and the opposing teams are just yelling at him, booing him, saying stuff to him. And I had to restrain myself. I had to be the guy to say, I can't do this. I can't respond like this. I don't care how hostile the territory is. I got to make sure that I don't be that parent that lashes out and bring unnecessary attention to my son. And I had that conversation with my son before the season started. Every year I have that conversation with him. I said, they're going to say some wild shit. They may say something about me to you, or calling your daddy ain't shit, this or that. They may do all of that. But you got to focus on the main thing, and the main thing is the main thing, and that's the main thing is you making sure you do what you got to do to lead your team to a win. You stay focused, stay locked in, don't worry about it. I'm fine. I'm going to be all right. They're not going to do nothing to me. I'll be fine. Focus on you and your teammates and doing what you got to do to help the team win. That's the conversation I have to have with him. I'm going to have it again this season. It doesn't change. But the good thing about it is last season, he didn't do anything to embarrass his team. He was focused. He was locked in. This is how mature he is. He embraced it. You know how I know he embraced it? Because certain little things I know he does that lets him know he's not bothered. They may not see it. I see it because I know my son. He'll shrug his shoulders. He'll flex on them. Every once in a while, he'll hush the crowd, as they say. I know he's fine. I'm not worried about him. And when he has a bad game, he knows he's going to hear from me. Now, his mama, well, she's, oh, that's okay. No, bullshit. You play like ass. And that's what he attempts. He said, Daddy, I play like ass. I said, yes, you did. I'm glad you acknowledged, and I ain't got to say that. So now you know what you got to do. The problem is sometimes he gets to the other side. They try to baby him. I'm saying, no. I look at him. I said, you already know what it is. She'll coddle you. I won't. She'll baby you. I don't. No, dog. You look like shit. You play like ass. You need to do better. You missed that free throw. What the hell was going on? You fouled in that moment. You know you didn't need to. Why? Now, most of the times, I'm not going to say it unless he says something about it on game day. I let it be. I give him 24 hours to sit on it and go from there. You already know we had that rule ever since he was in high school. Used to be on him right after the game was, but I had to learn fast. Let him be. Give him 24 to 48 hours. Well, I don't give him 48 hours. I'm on him after that 24. It might be 23 and a half. But I'm on him. I say, hey, dog, what happened? And that's what I do. I ask him, what happened? I ain't got to go to, he already know what happened. And he'll run it down. He'll be all that. Yeah, Daddy, I know. I seen it. You know what you need to do, right? Yeah, I know what you need to do. Look, let me say this. You ain't got to get on your kids because they going to be, look, they already know. The coach gave it to him. Maybe some of the teammates said something to him. He going to be hard on himself than I can ever be. I can be harder, but he going to be way harder on himself than I ever be. Because he had to live that. He had to go through that. He had to walk them shoes. He had to make that green mile. He had to take that walk. He had to recant and look at film and go back and see the bull crap that he know he did wrong and things he could have done. He has to do that. His coach is going to show him that. He's going to see that when he watch film. Only thing I need to do is be most of the time a good listener. Let him just talk and try to help him through it with some words of encouragement. It ain't always got to be scolding him. It ain't always got to be that. That ain't always got to be the go-to move. There's going to be a time and place for that. It's some bitch. At least he followed the rules. God damn it. Shout out to Big Ed 11 with the $10 super chat. Go to hell. This Negro here. This Negro. I'm sick of me. Shout out to the brother back. Shout out to Big Ed 11 with the $10 super chat. He said, hey, you can't dunk either. This is not true. Now, 50-year-old he can't dunk for shit. 20-year-old he could. Shout out to Big 811 for the $10 super chat. He didn't have to, he chose to, and I appreciate the blessings. Thank you, sir. And not only that, thank you for your service. Guys, do me a favor. I need for y'all to hit that damn like button, man. If you ain't hit that like button, what you waiting on? Court order? Don't be clown watching, man. Hit that like button for the brother. Help a brother out. You goddamn right. Push that goddamn button. I don't care what channel you watching on YouTube. You watching on the Gist NFL. You watching on the basement with me. Or you watching on my Facebook channel. Hit the like button. I greatly appreciate it. I promise you I do. I don't ask for much. I ain't gonna shaking you guys down. Well, I know at times are hard, but I appreciate the super chat when you come through. Maybe even the Cash App if you hit me up with one. I appreciate all that. But you know what? I appreciate a lot more when you hit that like button because that's going to push me through the algorithm. So for those people who didn't know I was doing the show, you're going to get to see the opportunity to see this beautiful and sexy face with this masculine, sexy voice of mine. Some of these haters hated that when my voice is cold, goddamn me. It's not my fault. Blame your goddamn mammy and daddy. It's their fault you look like ass. Or you ugly. Or you don't sound as good as me. Or you ain't got a mane like this motherfucker I got that I got to get cut on Friday because I need a goddamn haircut. Got me out here looking like a goddamn homeless man. Look at this shit. Oh, no, I know y'all see that. Y'all see that. Y'all see that wave? I'm 50 years old, boy, still hold it down with these goddamn waves. Y'all better ask somebody. Yeah, I got a few grays in my hair. I don't mind. It's that wisdom. Y'all kiss my grits. Now I'm showing my age for real when I said that. Kiss my grits. I think it was Alice. I think that's what the show was called, Alice. Alice's Diner. Something like that. Y'all know what I mean. But let me get back to it. But as far as Mike Gundy, man was there for a long time. But the last time they had a really productive year was 2011. It's 2025. That's over 14 years ago. You can't keep skating by and think you're going to get away with it. They're not going to let you do that. Too much money in this college football game. Too many expectations. And the thing about it, the Big 12 is not the same Big 12 anymore. Right? The Big 12 is totally different. They got less of quality teams. They ain't worried about Texas, Oklahoma anymore. In the Big 12, they ain't got to worry about them teams. You looking at a different level of Big 12. Texas, Oklahoma over in the SEC, they in a grown man conference. So now with that being said, you got to produce. And that's just what he couldn't do. He wasn't producing, so you got to go. That's what they said. You're not producing, we got to let you go. Now, let me say this. He was 170-90. Won the Big 12 Coach of the Year 3 times. All that's fine and dandy. But in the words of Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? And according to that, you ain't been doing nothing. You ain't been doing a goddamn thing. And Oklahoma State ain't going for that. Shout out to Hall and Oates. I can't go for that. No can do. So you got to win. You got to produce. You got to create. You got to make something happen. And if you're not making something happen, you got to get replaced. You have to. They're not going to stand for that stuff. They're not just going to let you hang out because you got a long tenure here and do all this and do all that. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to get you up on to the next. So that's what happened with my man Mike Gundy. They had to let him go. Look, man, that man got his money worth. 21 years in the game. Got a lot of checks. Got a lot of millions. You know what I'm saying? Changed a lot of young men's lives. But now they say we need some new blood in here. We need some new blood in that's going to help us win, help us get us to that certain level that they want to get to as far as the Big 12 and maybe in the playoff. And Mike Gundy, they don't see you in the future. They don't see you in the picture. We got to let you go. We got to let you go. Some may say, well, it's unfortunate. Hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. If you're not winning, we don't want you. If you're not producing, we can't do nothing with you. Can't. So with that being said, they had to let him go. Speaking of moving on, this guy moved on, but he wasn't fired. This guy decided to resign. His name is Bruce Pearl. Now, for those guys who may not know a lot about Bruce Pearl is a great coach. He's been around for a long time, right? He's been around for a long time and was with a lot of programs during his time period. At one time, he had some NCAA allegations, and they had a show clause on him with Bruce Pearl. Bruce Pearl, I remember when Bruce Pearl used to coach over in Southern Indiana. So Indiana's right across the bridge from where I live at. All right. He coached from there from head coach, let me say this, at Southern Indiana from 92 to 2001. So we heard a lot about Bruce Pearl back in those times. You know, we was real familiar with Bruce Pearl back in the days. He led Southern Indiana in the Division II level. Won the Great Lake Valley Conference title 4 times. He was in Milwaukee from 2001 to 2005. And then from Milwaukee, you know, he had that great run in the NCAA tournament. 2005, he won 26 games at Milwaukee and a New Horizon record winning percentage. Went to the Sweet 16 with Milwaukee, but ended up losing to the runner-up team in Illinois in 2005. After 2005, that's when he became on the big scene. He came to Tennessee. And when he came to Tennessee, he was a pain in my Kentucky Wildcats ass. Good coach, but a pain in the ass. Unfortunately, that's where he met his downfall and was on the show clause for a couple years. It wasn't until the 2008, I think, is when they did the investigation of him, and then he was, you know, hit with the show clause. And this was during a time where he had inappropriate contact with a with a recruit, Aaron Kraft, a point guard, used to play for Ohio State. He was supposed to go to Tennessee. He committed to Tennessee, but once he got on that situation, he decommitted from Tennessee, ended up going to Ohio State. So for a while, you know, he was let go from Tennessee and end up having a show call situation. So in 2011, they let him go from Tennessee. 2008, the incident happened, and they investigated in 2008, 2009. So he was suspended, and unfortunately, you know, they ended up letting it go after a while because they said, hey, we can't have this. Can't have this. We can't do it. Won't do it. But in the meantime, between that time when 2011 happened and before he got to Auburn, he had an opportunity. You know, sometimes you got to sit down and just chill. You know, so we got to see him on some of the NCAA tournament shows, doing some commentating, you know, helping out, like filling in for like assistance. He wasn't really like what they consider a paid assistance. He dabbed in with helping some NBA teams, you know, with practices and all of that, just so he could stay, you know, within the circle of basketball. But in 2014, he had the opportunity to go back to the college basketball game. I mean, you know, and he got to replace Tony Barbie, who was a former Kentucky assistant at the time, before he got there, at Auburn in 2014. And of course, we all know he was there until just recently, 2025. He decided to retire right before the college season started. That's crazy. That happened that way, but that's his reality, right? That's just his reality. But fortunate for him, they have a replacement now. Depends on who you ask, right? A lot of fans are crying nepotism, right? A lot of fans crying, oh man, that's not right. They're paving the way for his son to be promoted because his dad was the head coach there. He was an assistant there. Nobody else really had an opportunity or a chance to get that job. That ain't right. That's not cool. Guys, let me help you out. That's the norm. Nepotism always been around. And let me say this, I have no problem with it. The reason why I have no problem with it, because I hope one day we could do the same thing for our kids. And we could benefit off the nepotism, just like everybody else is doing. So please believe me, if opportunity comes up for you to get that opportunity to help your son or your daughter out, you make sure you do that. Everybody else does. It's normal, it's typical. It's what it is. What's the problem? I'm all for it. If I could do something to help my son get the best opportunity I can, I'm going to do it. During the summertime, I make sure my son applies for the place where I work at for the summer works. Get the opportunity for 6 weeks to work, get paid every week. Utilize all the resources that I can utilize to help them be successful. By teaching them the ropes, teach them, hey, you know, do this. Make sure you be at work on time. Make sure you do what you got to do. Be respectful. Take care of your business. Pay attention. Follow directions. Learn what you can. Because, okay, guess what? Maybe after college is said and done, you get your degree. Maybe you won't come back here and work. And you already have a leg up because you have already created some networking, some relationships. You're familiar with some of the individuals that work here. Take advantage of it. I'm going to do what I can to help you out. I'm going to make sure I definitely put a great word in for him. As I think we all should. There's nothing wrong with that. We see it all the time. It's the norm. It's the norm. Coaching in society. Come on now. Come on now. It happens. So I'm not surprised by Auburn hiring Bruce Pearl's son. I'm not surprised by it. You know, that's to be expected. That's to be expected, man. Man feel like he paid his time. He was on the bench with his father, sitting there learning, paying attention. So for those who don't know, his name is Stephen Pearl. Is the new head coach of the Auburn Tigers. You know, I'm sure that was part of the walkaway pay. You know, his last request. You know, this is it for me, guys. But I want my son to take over. Look, we've seen this happen with when Bobby Knight, Pat Knight took over for him at Texas Tech. We've seen it happen. He had his son as an assistant coach forever, all the way back to Indiana days. He played for his father during Indiana. He coached with his father. This ain't no surprise. Look here, we got it even on small in the local school, Bellarmine, which is a D1 school. Guess what? The son took over for the father. Scott Davenport is retired. His son taking over. It happens. We watched Rick Pitino when he was at U of L, and his son was Richard Pitino coaching as an assistant with him. This is nothing new. This is the norm, guys. Don't be surprised. Don't feel some type of way. It is what it is. So if you want to get in your feelings about it, you waste your time. You probably got somebody at your current workplace right now practicing nepotism on a regular basis. You yourself may be doing it. May have your son-in-law, your daughter-in-law working at the same company you're working at. Husband and wives working at the same company, different departments. This ain't nothing new. It's the norm. It is what it is. I'm not mad about it. I expected it. I expect to see that go down. I expect to see that happen. It's to be expected. Now, what you got to do, what you need to be doing is finding a way to get your family members, your folks, your kin people in a situation to win just like you did. That should be your goal. Don't be out here ready to protest and raise flags and go screaming at the rooftop. Oh, look, bull crap. You find a way to get your son, your daughter in that situation, your nieces, your nephews in this, your little brother, your little sister in that situation, your spouse in that situation, your best friends, sons or daughters. Find a way to get them so they can benefit as well. Then we can all eat. Follow the roads of these forefathers of Pitino, Bruce Pearl, Bobby Knight, George Bush. The Kennedys, they got all their kids in the politics. God damn it. Why not? We can do it too. We can do it too, guys. So don't just go sitting there in the corner pouting and crossing your arms and feeling some type of way. You're wasting time. That time you could be using doing all that. You could be getting your son or your daughter in the position. Helping them out. Working with them, getting their resume together. Getting their portfolio together so they can be next on the list. So they could be the next one that follows in the footsteps of their parents, if that's what they want to do. I go even further, create companies, jobs, businesses to pass on to your kids. That's the same concept, nepotism too. Who cares? Do it. Create a legacy for your family. Don't sit back and complain. Be like the Waltons. Create a Sam's, a Walmart. Do it. Stop complaining about it. Find a way. Like the Ball brothers. I guess they still doing it. Why not? Why not? Shador. Come on, man. Dion, come on, man. He got one of his guys as a part of the media team for the Colorado Buffaloes. Yes. That's what you want to do. That's what we need to do. What's wrong with that? Look. Shiloh ain't gonna be playing in NFL. We know his career is not in the pros. He done. Gonna keep it on sports. He needs to become an assistant coach, working with the DBs. Be a cornerback coach, a safety coach. Put him on the staff, put him on the payroll. So he could be another great coach in the coming up couple years, maybe about 5-10 years down the road. Now he's leading the team. And maybe he got his nephew or his sons, or his little cousins, or his other family members lined up to be the next great thing. Why not? Why not? I'm just saying, man. They can do it. Why can't we? Look, speaking of my son, I get a text message. What up, Dad? Me and my son, me and my teammates are going to get some wings. Can you send me some money? This boy here, I love him to death. He's crazy as Junebug. I do anything in the world for that boy because he's a good kid. As long as he's on the right path, doing what he got to do, I don't have no problem with supporting him. So, guys, give me a second. I'm going to reply back to him. Yeah, I'll send it here shortly. Give me a second. Gotta love him. But guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. Push the goddamn button. Guys, for those who don't know, every season, I try to do a one-on-one. So that season starts, well, officially the season's already started. It started on Monday. But they've been practicing all that. So that's already been started. But I'm trying to figure it out to do a one-on-one. Gonna have to work around his basketball practice schedule. We're gonna get him here and we're gonna have one-on-one. I want to do a live one. I don't want to do pre-recorded. I like to do the live one, but if I have to do a pre-recorded, we'll do a pre-recorded, and I'll just upload and premiere it. It is what it is, and it's probably what I end up doing, just due to his schedule. But I'm all for it. Help your kids be successful. Do what they got to do. If that means get your kids set up for failure, for the win, you make sure you do that. You make sure you do that. This boy here. Now he texts me back. He said, never mind. I will stay and eat some pizza. It was either wings or pizza. Good. This dude here. He don't know what he wants. It is what it is. I love him to death, though. Like I said, I do anything for him. I probably could send him some money later. He just wait till tomorrow, eat some wings. Eat the wings for Thursday or something. Or I'll go watch a football game. I remember back in the day, that boy I would watch football. He'd be coming out and watch it. He'd sit there for about 5-10 minutes, then he gone. Boy, did they have the patience to watch a whole game if it's like to pit on it. Now, still doesn't have the patience like that, but he'll watch at least the first half of it. And then he'll say, boy, you watch the game? Yeah, I just watch a highlight, Daddy. I was like, all right. I'm like, all right, man. So be it. It is what it is. Oh, shoot. Now I got a grandbaby, y'all. I don't know if y'all ever heard me talk about her grandbaby. She's 5. She's into cheerleading and all that dance stuff. Her mother don't realize what she about to get invested into because that stuff is not cheap. I remember we used to doing fundraisers and doing these fundraisers with these parents. We would work like the football games and the basketball games for U of L or some of the baseball games or soccer, whatever sport they had. I used to do that, and we used to do it to raise money, fundraisers for the kids. For when they would do the thing like for my son's AAU, or they would do it for the dance team or the tumbling team, they call it, and they would have to pay for Orlando and trips to the Florida, like, the plane tickets, the cast, the hotel, and all that. And so, we would do the fundraisers. And once he turned 16, he could start doing it too. So I had him out there working. I said, boy, look here, this money ain't for me. It's for you. You're going to be working too. So I had him out there working with me. I got a job that paid me. I'm doing it just to raise money for the programs. I'm tired. And my old ass out there working and then raising money for him. And I'm like, hey, man. But, he was out there working with me. You know what I'm saying? He did what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? I said, boy, help me out. There was a couple of times where I didn't make it. He had to go by himself. So, which was cool. He had his car. He drove to whatever the event was and met whoever needed to meet to do the fundraising, did what he had to do. But that's part of having kids, right? Now y'all got me totally off. Oh, no, I'm not, because we talk about nepotism and we talk about our sons and making sure our kids is in the right position. So I'm all for it. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's in sports or it's in life. Set your kids up for success. And if that means by putting them in a position where they can work, earn some extra money at your career, at your job, at your place of work, or in an established or extracurricular activity that you're following, allow that to happen. Internships. If your company offers them, make sure you sign your kids up. Allow them to participate. Why not? Everybody else does it. We need to benefit too. I'm just saying. Hey, guys, do me a favor before we get up out of here. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Before we go, I definitely got to make sure y'all see and experience my Funko Pop as well as album of the week. That being said, let's go to it. Here we are.
I want to treat you
like a queen, cooked and clean. Get your bubble bath ready so I can rub you with Noxine. And watch how gentle I'll be when I rub your back. And after that, there's dinner and cognac. A little romance for the quiet storm. And a lot of loving for the whole night long. I'm gonna caress your body and give you a kiss. And rub you down where you've been missed. Nibble on your...
Album of the week is Father MC. At Funko Pop of the week is Michael Irvin and Mike Ditka. Guys, y'all know what I did because we played a football game that we needed to win on Sunday against the Cowboys. So that was my theme. That was the reason I picked them. Now, for those who didn't know, Mike Ditka used to play for the Cowboys at tight end back in the days. Now, he was drafted and played for the Chicago Bears tight end. But then he ended up over at the Cowboys the last part of his career. So he had the best of both worlds. Because we all know who Michael Irvin is, Hall of Fame wide receiver, just like Mike Ditka is a Hall of Fame tight end. So I made sure I had to pick a Cowboy and a Chicago Bear for my Funko Pop of the week. But with that being said, I appreciate every last one of you who heard. Make sure y'all hit the like button before you leave out. And if you watch it on the replay, hit that like button. Guys, if y'all know somebody who loves to be talking sports, hear sports, or maybe just want to just engage in some sports activity, make sure you send them this way. Make sure you share the stream with them. I appreciate every last one of you being here. Until the next time, right on.